Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in this great big world, this Astro world. Let me pull up a couple of things here. We've got game 2 today versus the Diamondbacks. Had a really good game yesterday. Yesterday was just a good classic baseball game. Good classic baseball game. A little bit of pitching, a little bit of hitting. Some big hits, some tough moments. The kind of game that I'd love to go see. That game yesterday, it's the kind of game I'd like to see. If I had a choice between... Now, of course, seeing the Dodgers get beat 18-1 in Los Angeles, I would love to see that. I would have loved to have been there for that game. But any other team, if you had to pick, would you rather see a game like we saw yesterday, or would you rather be in the park for a game where they score 18-1? The truth is that the game yesterday would have been a much more interesting game to watch. So that's the one that I would have chosen. What about you guys? Let me open up the chat in my upper screen. There we go. Got a few messages to check in on. I see we've got 16 likes already. We're off to a good start. Thank you, guys. Thank you, gals. Geaux Stros indeed. Happy Tuesday and happy Wednesday to you, Daniel. Konnichiwa to you. Cheers to you. I've got my coffee right here. Let's go Space City indeed. Crispy's anime voice. The power of positivity and friendship will guide us to victory tonight. Geaux Stros. Astros Houston says my favorite song. Luke Combs. Houston have a problem. Interesting. The songs that I play at the beginning of my live stream, I wrote those songs. Those are mine. I write the lyrics, and I work together with some software tools and AI tools to produce the songs, because I've stopped listening basically to all mainstream music, all independent music. If it doesn't come from me, I don't listen to it. And I know that some people think that might sound weird, but here's the thing. Whenever you're listening to other people's music, or you're just listening to the radio, you got a lot of stuff going into your head that's unfiltered. And you might not be thinking about what they're saying in the songs, and you might be thinking about it. You might be singing along to it. But they say a ton of stuff that I don't agree with. And so I decided to stop listening to all other music. I seriously don't listen to... I might listen to classical or something like that, but I stopped listening to all of the bands that I used to. And I was big into the 90s music, you know, all the grunge bands and all that. I even was big into Metallica and Megadeth. Of course, I loved Alice in Chains and Soundgarden and Stone Temple Pilots and all those guys. Even Candlebox, Goo Goo Dolls, etc. I stopped listening to all those completely. So the songs that you hear on my channel are written by me, and they are all from one perspective, which is we are directly connected to God. We are a part of God, and basically we don't have to worry about anything. Everything is just fine. Everything is always okay. Absolutely nothing negative in any of those songs. Let's see here. Jordan says, as long as we win, I don't care. Yep, let's win. Chris prefers close games. I don't know if I like the close games because sometimes those close games are like 1-1 and then 1-2 and then maybe 2-3 and then right at the it's like a low scoring close game all the way through into the end. And so you go through many innings of almost nothing scored and only like a 1-run game, and maybe you have the lead and then you lose it right at the end. It's too. Those games are the low scoring pitchers duels are so unfun to me. Yeah, that's right, Juan. Arrighetti, Javier in rehab. Spencer closer than Javier to coming back. That's right. I heard some interesting stuff about Yordan Alvarez today. They were talking about basically they don't know what to say about Yordan Alvarez because whenever they talk to him, the translation that they get, it doesn't make any sense. It's like, well, I think I'm doing better. I'm feeling mostly better, and we think I might be able to come back soon, but we don't want to rush it. We want to take our time. It's like completely political language. We really have no idea. And they were speculating about the problem being much more serious, like long term, like carpal tunnels or arthritis, stuff like that. And they're just not sharing it. But they also speculated that maybe Yordan feels a little pushed about coming back quickly, and he's wanting to slow it down, but the Astros management staff is wanting to push a little faster. You know what I'm saying? But the bottom line is that we don't really have a clear idea to understand the situation, and that's ridiculous. We should be able to understand. Thank you, Crispy. I appreciate that. Got some warm-ups going on right now. The Diamondbacks pitcher, Rodriguez, is on the mound today. 5.94 ERA. It's been a little rough for him. He's 3-6. His hits and his walks are way up, guys, so this bodes well for a team like the Astros. Astros are a good hitting team, and they can get the walks. Crispy, that's a good question. Crispy wants to know if Yordan's injury is something that can be healed naturally. It doesn't sound like it. It's already been so long. See, that's the thing, Crispy. That's why people are speculating about there being some other thing. Because here's the thing. If you have a broken hand or you have a fractured hand, it's not a big deal. If it gets inflamed, it's not a big deal. It just takes time to heal. But if you have a problem like arthritis or carpal tunnels, that's different. That's a long-term thing. Here's the first pitch to Cam Smith, first pitch of the game. 93 on the inside, ball 1. We are underway with game 2. Here comes the second pitch from Rodriguez. Inside again, same spot, ball 2. Daryl, it's possible they're also talking about a second baseman. Here's the pitch. That was a strike. Good call on the umpire. I mean, that was low and inside, but in the zone. The catcher didn't frame it well. He had to kind of move his glove over to get it, but 2 balls and 1 strike. I hope this umpire stays like this today. He's calling some good pitches so far, just the first 3. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss on the outside. The count is even. Hey, DeLion, did you see your rookie card? I posted it in the community chat. Here comes the next pitch. Fouled off. Count stays 2-2 against Cam Smith. The fastball at 95 miles an hour. I wonder why Rodriguez has been struggling so much. Here Here comes the next pitch. Swing and a miss on the high fastball. Cam Smith can't get his bat on it. And that will be the first strikeout of the day and the first out of the day. Jose Altuve coming to the plate. Boo, Arizona. Well, that's what Arizona's doing right now. Boo, boo, Altuve, boo. Bunch of babies. Here's the pitch. He hits that one really hard to left field. He skies it out there down the line, all the way to the corner. Holy cow! That was home run distance in the corner. Very first pitch, Altuve going after it and putting it all the way out over the fence, and just foul. Altuve yanked that one. That was clearly a home run, but just too far to the left of the foul pole. Next pitch is in the dirt, 1-1. Come on, Tuve. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Fouls this one off. He's taking some big swipes at it. Career batting average against this pitcher is .333. He's batting .278 on the season right now. The count is 1-2. Here comes the pitch from Rodriguez. High and outside. Ball 2. No, Brendan. It's... Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. I was thinking about something else. But yes. You're right. I gotta... What in the world? What? Why is this? What in the world is going on here? Everything on my screen going wonky. Okay, there we go. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch to Altuve. Hits this one straight up. It looks like it's going to be playable on the right side. The second baseman is way over. And he puts it away for out number 2. Altuve flies out. Check swing there, and they say he went around. Christian Walker at the plate batting third today. 0-1 is the count with 2 outs, nobody on. Here comes the toss. He grounds it up the middle. It's going to be right through. No, it bounces off the glove of Marte. He's not able to get it. I don't think he would have had a play anyway, even if he'd have been able to scoop it up on the backhand. So that's going to be an infield hit for Christian Walker. Thought for a second there that it got through, but it just came out of his glove, actually. Marte actually caught it and tried to throw it with his glove to the shortstop, but it just went up in the air harmlessly. Diaz is at the plate in the cleanup spot today. Check swing. He fouls it off. Strike 1. Diaz is catching today. McCormick is batting 5th in center field. Bryce Matthews at second base batting 6th. Dubon at third base batting 7th. Cooper Hummel batting 8th in left field. And Zach Short at shortstop batting 9th. Here's the next pitch. This is hit out to left center field. Or actually, it's right center field. The camera angle looks strange there. Flies out to center. Diaz goes down. That's out number 3. So the Astros get 1 hit in the first. And we go to the bottom of the first in just a moment. Fromberg will be on the mound in just a moment as well. Oh yeah, Daryl, I meant to take a picture of my breakfast the other day and post it just so you guys can see what my regular breakfast looks like when I go to the cafe. And I totally forgot. I bet you I can dig through my phone and find an old picture of the same breakfast though. But it was really good. It was a really nice breakfast. I had the fried eggs, bacon, sausage, salad, baguette, and soup. Also get the drink bar so I can drink all the coffee. If I want juice, I can drink juice, but I just usually don't because of the sugar. But they also have other drinks and sodas and tea and all of that good stuff. You can go back as many times as you want to the drink bar. All of that. I have a coupon also that gives me a percentage off. But in dollars, it comes out to like maybe $5. It's really cheap. Maybe a little less than $5 actually. So it's really nice. Yeah, I hear what you're saying about the Blue Jays and the Yankees. We want the Blue Jays, whatever team is leading the AL, we want them to lose so we can get closer, right? But it's kind of difficult to pick a team when one of those teams is the Yankees, right? The Yankees and the Blue Jays. Difficult to choose because don't really like the Stankies. Crispy says I'd rather see Caratini catching than Yainer Diaz at this point. He just doesn't have it together. Well, as far as catching is concerned, that doesn't bother me as much as the hitting. Goodness gracious, sudden sneeze came on. Must be some dust floating in. Here's the first pitch from Fromber. He's facing Marte at the plate. That's in there for strike one. A sinker. A stinker. Well, Daryl, things here are expensive too. But it's different because the yen is weak. This is hit into right field. Cam Smith is back and he will grab it. Right on the edge of the warning track. And that's out number one. The problem with the yen being weak here in Japan is that anything you want to buy that does not come from Japan, it makes it automatically more expensive because it takes more yen to buy it. Plus, since basically the 90s, they have not raised salaries, and that's not a joke. So for more than, basically for 30 years plus, they haven't raised the salaries in Japan. First pitch to Corbin Carroll's in there for a strike. Nice stinker. Peter Dinklage, otherwise known as Corbin Carroll. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. In the dirt, ball one. Managed to get to the mute button for that sneeze. Here comes the 1-1 count pitch. A little low. 2 balls and 1 strike from Fromber. Fromber looking nice and fresh today. I had a feeling they'd be wearing the orange. I thought about putting my orange jersey on today, but I wanted to give it a rest. Little low and outside, could have been called either way. Ball 3, 3-1. Here comes the 3-1 count. Grounded up the middle, and Matthews can't make the play. Bounces off his glove, and Carroll's actually going to rush to second base. So Matthews tries to backhand it, and that allows Carroll to get to second base. So we have a runner on second with 1 out. That brings up Lourdes Gurriel. First pitch is a strike. Fromber's starting pretty much everybody off with a strike. Gurriel calls timeout. He wants to scratch at the dirt like a chicken a little bit more. Here comes the 0-1 pitch to Gurriel. In the dirt inside, 1-1. Yeah, Brendan, we definitely need the infield defense to be looking nice today. Here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss on the outside. Got 71 people following right now on the live stream and only 26 likes. If you have a moment, please like. I appreciate that. In the dirt. 2 balls and 2 strikes. I really wish I had a better toggle button. Can't leave my preview screen up there for so long. I got so many copyright claims. MLB has just gone crazy copyright claiming me, and I'm doing my best to keep it as short as possible, but they're still claiming me like crazy. Valdez fakes the throw to second base. Carroll on second with 1 out. The 2-2 count to Gurriel's on the way. Grounds it to the left side. Short holds up the runner, makes a bad throw to first base, but Walker's able to tag him for the out. Carroll stays at second base. Eugenio Suarez comes to the plate. Here's the pitch. In the dirt, ball 1. If anybody is a candidate for being on steroids right now, it's this guy. 2 outs. Carroll on second base. Suarez at the plate. Here comes the 1-0 pitch from Fromber. Little high and outside. Ball 2. "31 likes on the live stream. It's climbing. Slowly but surely. Fromber taking a look, nice long look at Carroll on second. Grounded back to Fromber, and Fromber snatches it. It was right at his face. Look at that. Look at that catch by Fromber. Heck yeah. Good defensive play there by Fromber to get the 3rd out. Suarez rifles it on the ground, and it bounces right up at his face. He throws his glove up there, manages to catch it, lobs it over to first base, no problem. So we get through the first inning without any real damage done. The Astros and the Diamondbacks each have 1 hit but no runs. We go to the top of the second. Chas McCormick is due up for the Astros. Batting 5th in the lineup. He'll be followed by Bryce Matthews and Mauricio Dubon. Yes, Max, that's right. The like button is free. Costs nothing. And it makes the snakes sad. Sad snake sad, that's right. The more you click, the sadder the snake gets. I want to start a poll. There we go. McCormick is at the plate, grounds the first pitch over to third base side. They were playing the bunt, so he was really close. Able to grab that very quickly and throw him out. One away on one pitch. Bryce Matthews at the plate with one out, nobody on. The big hitter from yesterday. 93 on the outside edge. That was the absolute furthest strike you could possibly call right there. 0-1 is the count. Here comes the pitch. Low in the dirt, outside. 1-1. No, I think you guys need to read that banner again. This one's hit out in right field, and Corbin Carroll makes the sliding catch. He robs Bryce Smith of a single, possibly even a double, depending on how the ball went after. Nice sliding catch by Peter Dinklage. Two outs. Dubon comes to the plate. Here comes the first pitch. Almost got him inside. Ball one. I am not at 1,000 subs. Read that banner one more time. It says subscribe to reach 1,000. That's what it says. Dubon bunts it down the third baseline. He's going to try to get a base hit. The throw is wild. He's going to run to second base. How about that? Dubon with the bunt hit. Third baseman Alexander just made an absolutely terrible throw. This throw is terrible. Not even close. Dubon able to run to second, no problem. Two outs with the runner on second. Cooper Hummel at the plate. Come on, today just be Pummel. Cooper Pummel. Here's the pitch. Outside. Did he call that a strike? Man, that looked a little too high and outside to me, but okay. 0-1 is the count. Yeah, doobie double. 0-1 to Hummel. Here comes the pitch. A little high. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Rodriguez takes a look at Doobie. Here's the toss. In the dirt. 2 balls and 1 strike. Jordan, I have my personal opinion. My personal opinion is Altuve should be at second base with good rest time as DH and game rests when possible. That's the way we should be treating him, and that's not what they're doing, so it's annoying me. Here's the pitch. Corbin Carroll catches it right at the wall. Cooper Hummel drives it all the way out to the wall in center field, and Corbin Carroll gets it on the run. The Astros just shy of a 2-run homer. So instead of Pummel, we get Hummel. Oh well, another hit for the Astros, but no runs. A runner stranded on second base. We go into the bottom of the second. Yeah, my thought is this on Altuve. I'll tell you guys what I think. I mean, and maybe it doesn't matter to you. It's just my opinion. But I think that having Altuve out in left field is useless. We can have him at second base. We have Now think about this. We have guys who can actually play left field better than Altuve already on the team. We can put them in left field. One of my subscribers told me yesterday he believed that the reason it's good for Altuve to be in left field instead of second base is because he's getting older because of his knees. And I'm like, I don't know. I've been thinking about that, and I thought it doesn't make any sense. Left fielders get a ton of action. If you're worried about a guy's knees, then putting him in left field is not the best place. It's definitely not the best place to go. They're going to be running around a lot out there. I played second base for most of my life. I played third, shortstop, and second. But I started off playing third. I only played shortstop for a short time, and then the rest of my life I played second base. And I've played in outfield stuff because I've moved around a little bit to play different positions. But of course, over time the coaches realize what you're good at, what position you're good at. And I can tell you this for sure. My knees are not great. I was even catcher for one pitcher that we had. And the reason that I was catcher for that pitcher is because I was the only one who could catch his fastball with the catcher's mitt. And I hated it. Why? Because of my knees. But I had no problem playing second base, and I don't think that Altuve has a problem playing second base. That's where he should be, not left field. With my knees, the last place I want to be is left field. Sorry. Sorry, not sorry. Let him play second, sometimes DH, sometimes take a break. What's wrong with that? That's my opinion. Well, you can ask Altuve, but the problem, Jordan, is that he's not going to tell you what he wants. You know Altuve's never going to tell you what he wants. Foul ball, the count is 2-1 to Bo Naylor. I'm sorry, why do I keep saying Bo Naylor? Josh Naylor. I called him Bo Naylor yesterday. 2 balls and 1 strike. Here comes a 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss, low in the zone, and he lost his hat. That man lost his hat. Give him back his cap. Put that on, boy. Rock says it's not his knees, it's his defense that's been slipping. Well, as players get older, they are going to slip. But that doesn't support putting him in left field. If you want to put him somewhere where he's going to see the least amount of defensive action, left field is not the place to do it. Here's the pitch. Low and outside. Full count. Leadoff batter, Josh Naylor at the plate. 20 pitches now for Framber Valdez. 3-2 the count against Josh Naylor. Here comes the toss. Swing and a miss. Gets him on the sinker. They said that that's the first time Valdez has ever struck out Josh Naylor. Interesting. Good toss. 1 away. Here's the pitch. In the dirt inside, ball 1. But Jordan, everybody is different, but I can tell you for sure that playing infield was much better for me with my knees. It's just my personal experience. But here's the thing though. I'm 6'2". I'm a lot taller than Altuve. Altuve double for Randall Grichuk on that first pitch. We have a 1-out runner on second base. So far, the Astros and the Diamondbacks have a single and a double each. Why do we need to count how many fly balls go to left field? Here comes the pitch. In the dirt. Geraldo Perdomo at the plate. 1 ball, no strikes to Perdomo. Well, now you guys are expanding the conversation, and I understand what you're saying. You're talking about the type of pitcher that's on the mound, but you're talking now. You're talking more details. I'm talking about general overall. In the overall scheme of things, generally, the amount of action that a left fielder sees is a pretty good bit. If you're trying to say, well, what about Fromber? He produces a lot of ground balls. Well, now you're talking about specific, custom, special situations, and that's not what I was talking about. I'm talking about overall statistics. Here's the pitch. Right on the outside edge, strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike to Perdomo. 1 out, runner on second. Here's short. Nice play. An easy decision there. That runner at second just wasn't thinking. Did he just not think that short was not going to be able to throw it to him? Grichuk had no chance right there. Terrible base running, but works out for the Astros. 2 away runner on first. Blaze Alexander comes to the plate. Here's the pitch. Right in there for strike 1. But guys, here's what I was saying. You remember what I was saying earlier? Sometimes you don't let Altuve play at all. You let him rest. Sometimes you just let him do DH. Sometimes you let him do second base. So if there's a game where he's going to have to do a lot of running around or whatever, you think with this type of pitcher, then you can just make your decision on which he does. Ground ball, out number 3. That's it for this inning. Couple of hits now for both teams, but no runs. We go to the top of the third. 0-0. I feel like you guys are completely missing my original comment. First of all, my comment was a general comment, but I mentioned 3 things, 3 situations. So you play Altuve at second base sometimes. Sometimes you DH Altuve, and sometimes you just let him rest. You don't play him at all. So, if you think that we have a pitcher on the mound that's going to make Altuve work, and we really don't want to overwork him, he could use a rest, then just let him rest, stay out of the game, or let him DH. It's very easy. It's very easy. Astros have a left-handed pitcher. That would be the only time that I'd want to see him in left field at all, if at all. But if you think about it, it makes sense. If you're truly worried, and the thing is, no Astros staff have talked about them being worried about Altuve's knees. Everybody's talking about Altuve's knees, but if his knees are really a problem, then why aren't they talking about it? Everybody's assuming that he has problems with his knees. Why is that all of a sudden? Everybody's talking about his knees. But it's nobody reputable. It's just fans that are talking about his knees. Oh, he's old and his knees. Not everybody has bad knees in their 30s. I don't understand why this conversation has even gone to Altuve's knees, to be honest. Who has ever said that his knees are hurting? If they are, then when there's a left-hander Or a lot of lefty bats, maybe? Don't let him go to second base. This is hit out to right field. It's going to be just foul. Zach Short at the plate. I'm just saying there are options. There are options. Sometimes people disagree just to disagree. There's no point in that. Swing and a miss on the outside. Strike 2 against Short. 0-2 is the count. But see, that's the thing, Daryl. Everybody's different. And my knees weren't, quote, bad when I was younger. But squatting was no good for me. Running, and I was super fast in basketball. If you guys know what a suicide is, when you're running suicides on the court, I was really good at those. So quick movements and running around, all that kind of stuff is no problem for me. Strike 3 on the outside edge. Short takes that pitch. Takes the final pitch there for strike 3. 1 away. Cam Smith comes to the plate. The top of the batting order is back up. So it's not all knee problems. Even if somebody does have knee problems, not all people do, but if they do, even those problems are not the same. They're different. Different motions, different movements. A little inside for ball 1 against Cam Smith. 1-0 is the count. So I had no problems with fast motions and running around and doing all of that. It was squatting that hurt. Next pitch is a little low to Cam Smith. 2 balls and no strikes. Grounded to third. Picked up by Gurriel. No, not Gurriel. Alexander, I'm sorry. He looked like Gurriel. Isn't Gurriel in left field? Ground out for Cam Smith. 2 away. And speaking of Mr. Knees, the boos start. This is why Altuve's knees are supposedly hurting, according to you guys. Poor Altuve's knees. If the crowd would stop booing, that inflammation would go away. Here comes the first pitch. Man, he goes after that one again. He was just foul of a home run on his first at bat, the very first pitch of the game, or first pitch of his at bat. Looks like he's really going after it. Here comes the 0-2, or 0-1 rather. He breaks his bat and goes over to third base. Alexander plays it over, no problem, for out number 3. 1-2-3 for Rodriguez. No hits for the Astros this inning. Broken bat for Altuve. Shuts him down. We go to the bottom of the third after a very quiet top of the third. Chris says the players that have problems with knees are catchers. I don't think Altuve has had problems with his knees. Thank you. Now, of course, I know that's generally the truth, right? Catchers are infamous for having problems with their knees. And that's why even when I was catching for that one pitcher, we had one pitcher that would pitch maybe 4 innings, and he could throw a fastball, and I was the only one who could catch it with the catcher's mitt. So I would catch those 4 innings for that guy. And I kid you not, after every single pitch, I would stand up. And I remember the umpires asking me sometimes, why do you stand up after every pitch? And I told them, it really hurts my knees to squat down. And then they would say, then why are you catching? Because I'm the only one who can catch the fastball. All these other guys out here suck. I openly said that because I was really bitter about it. I told him, I don't want to catch. I don't want to be back here. But this guy has a moderate fastball. It was not even a very fast fastball. It was just moderate. But all of our other pitchers would throw breaking balls, and they couldn't throw even a moderate fastball. And that's one of the things I feel like too many players. I don't want to use the word stupid, but they don't understand the idea of you actually have to try to close your glove at the moment the ball goes in. You can't just it's like what they were doing with the catcher's mitt was they thought that when the ball hit it, it would just make the mitt close, and they weren't making any effort to time the close and literally grab and catch the ball. And so the ball would just keep falling out, falling out, falling out, and falling out. Framber's back on the mound. The first pitch is a little outside, but called a strike. Okay. 0-1 to Jose Herrera. But Chris, that what you just said is very close to what I'm saying, is that it is not common for us to just start seeing knee problems with bad knees with the players in the field. And that's the thing I don't understand. Why is everybody suddenly talking about Altuve's knees? Why are we even talking about that? Here's the 0-2 pitch. Fouled off. The count stays 0-2. I'm done with that topic. No more talking about Altuve's knees. Talking about something that doesn't even exist. Rock, I tried that, but the coach lined us up one day, and I was foolish enough to actually catch the ball. He had everybody put on the catcher's mitt and try catching the fastball, and I was the only one who could catch all of them. And because of that, he made me catch for that guy every time he pitched. I hated it. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Herrera. Here comes the pitch from Valdez. Grounded down the third base line. Dubon fires it over. No problem. Went away. Ketel Marte comes to the plate. Yeah, Brendan, I've already said that. I'm done with the knees. Done with that topic. I just don't understand strange comments like that. Low and inside. Another one low. Check swing. He did not go. Fouled off at the plate. 2 balls and 1 strike. I was listening to a different Astros podcast yesterday, and one of the guys said that Marte is the guy. If he could get anybody on the Astros team, this is who he would get. Marte. And I thought, really? Swing and a miss. 2 balls and 2 strikes. I thought that was a really random selection to just name Marte as his wish pick. Here's the 2-2. Woo, man, just barely missed. That was a good pitch. Low and outside in that corner. Framber laughing about it. He thought it was good. Yeah, Framber really wanted that one. Here comes the 3-2. This is a bouncer up the middle. Matthews charges, throws it in the dirt. But on the bounce, Walker gets it. Bryce Matthews with the bouncer to first base. Out number 2. Nice catch there by Walker. Very first pitch is hit into left field, lined to Hummel, who makes the play, no problem. Corbin Carroll lines out on the very first pitch, and Framber has himself a 1-2-3 inning. The third inning is over. 0-0. A little bit of a pitcher's duel so far. 2 hits for each team. 1 error for the D-backs. No errors for the Stros. 0-0. Yeah, Biggio was great. Nobody's going to argue with that. Unless they're Dodgers fans. I'm sure that they would have nothing but bad things to say. But Altuve is great in ways that most players are not. He's all around great. And I'm not saying that Biggio is not all around great. But Altuve has just, if you look at his story, everything that he's been through growing up, all the way up through getting into the MLB, and what he's done and what he's had to endure. Now, Biggio was definitely good. He was great. But Biggio never had to face the kind of garbage, no pun intended, garbage can. He never had to face the kind of garbage that Altuve's had to face. So think about that. The diversity that Altuve has overcome to be where he's at. Stats are not everything, my friend. The reason I love the Astros predates Biggio. When I started watching the Astros, Biggio was not even a thing. Let's see here. Craig Biggio is 59 years old. Yeah, so a little older than me. So if he's, when did he start? Biggio first MLB game. Give me Kevin Biggio. Craig Biggio first MLB game. 1988. Okay. Yeah, I was already an Astros fan a long time before that. All right, Walker at the plate for the Astros. Swings at the very first pitch. Goes into right field. Single. How about that? We have ourselves a base runner right off the bat. I want to see the replay there. They said that Walker carried his bat all the way down the line as he was running on that one. I'd like to see it. Oh, they don't show it here. Oh, there it is. He just... Oh, they'll show it right here, I think. Look at that. That was funny. Diaz at the plate. First pitch low and inside. Ball 1. That's right. There's an eye in hits. That's for sure. Here's the pitch. Hey, Yonder Diaz with a single to left field. Gurriel brings it in. Walker on second. Diaz on first. No outs. Now we're cooking with some kind of gas. Are you smelling it? Astros have doubled their hits now. They're up to 4. The Blue Jays lost. Well, I'm sad to see the Stankies win, but I think that's good. Blue Jays lose. We can win this game. Draw closer to first place. Chas McCormick at the plate with 2 runners on, no outs. Here's the pitch from Rodriguez. Man, what a diving attempt. What an amazing diving attempt by the catcher. He caught it. He caught it, but it popped out of his glove. Wow. Good effort there. Maximum effort by the catcher. 0-1 is the count to McCormick. Is he going to try bunting again or hitting? Looks like he's hitting. No. Rodriguez comes off the mound, fakes a throw. The crowd actually booed a little bit. Or why are you booing your own pitcher? Are the Arizona fans drinking? Here's a pitch. Way high. Ball 1, 1-1. J. Paul, did they announce an injury list stint for McCullers? That's news to me. Of course, then again, it's a little difficult for me to look up news while the game is going. Here's the next pitch. This one's popped up high over on the right side. Looks playable. Marte takes it. Out number 1. Walker remains on second. Diaz on first. Come on, guys. Don't waste these base runners. Bryce Matthews comes to the plate. He had himself a similar situation yesterday. 2 runners on, and he got a nice little blast. Can he repeat today? Okay, I see. They might be doing that to shuffle some guys around and get some other guys in. It's possible that they're doing that. They've done that before. Timeout called. They're going to have a little meeting on the mound to discuss the youngin', Bryce Matthews. Jay, sometimes they shuffle around players on the injury list, like the 15-day, the 60-day, etc., in order to make room on the roster or move guys off, move guys on. I don't understand all the details of how it works, but they were talking about it the other day on the radio, one of the podcasts I was listening to, and people were like, oh my gosh, what's wrong with him? Because they put somebody on a 60-day IL, and they were like, it was just necessary in order to move guys around. It's kind of strange, but that's the way it is. Here's the pitch. Outside, ball 1. Matthews at the plate with runners on first and second. Well, you know, the one thing that they don't seem to want to do with McCullers, which is really the only thing you can do with him, is have him come in as like a middle guy to pitch 1 or 2 innings. That's the best he can do. Below the zone, ball 2. Some people talk about, well, he just, he needs to work it out so he can get back to true form. McCullers has never had control. He's always had a problem walking batters. He's never been able to get that under control. Swing and a miss, 92 miles an hour, right in the top of the zone. 2-1 to Matthews. Jordan, probably he would have like a record number, all-time MLB record of strikeouts, right? Here comes a 2-1 pitch to Matthews. Low and inside. 3 balls and 1 strike. Is he going to give him a good pitch to hit right here or walk him? We'll see. Here comes the toss. Tapper to the right side. It's going to be a little trouble. He tries to shovel it, and he's safe at first base. Walker moves over. Diaz moves to second. The Diamondbacks definitely want to challenge. They are quick to say they want to challenge that. But there was a scoop right there. Let's take a look at this. He flipped it with his glove. That was a really slow tapper to second base. Naylor came way in, scooped it up with his glove, and threw it with his glove over to first base. It looks like it might be overturned. They called him safe. I don't know. It's hard to say. Is it clearly overturnable? I think he's out. Right there. Yeah, it's overturned. They call him out. I was right. Yeah. From one angle, it was iffy, but it looked like he was out. And then another angle, I think he was definitely out. You can see that his foot wasn't quite on the bag whenever he caught it. So it's 2 outs, but the runners do advance to second and third. Doobie comes to the plate. First pitch is a little inside for ball 1. This is our best chance so far to get some runs on the board. We got 2 runners in scoring position with Doobie at the plate. 1-0 is the count. Here comes the pitch. Man, that was a generous strike right there, above the zone by a good 2 inches. One ball, one strike. Here comes the pitch. Too high. 2 balls, 1 strike. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. Too high again. 3 balls and 1 strike. So we're either going to have an RBI here, hopefully, or bases loaded for Hummel. No whammies. Just slammies. Here's the pitch. Doobie tried to fake it. He pretended like it was too far inside, but it was on the inside edge. That's strike 2, 3-2. Full count. Are we going to get some runs here in the top of the 4th? About to find out. Here comes the 3-2. Outside, ball 4. We got the walk. Bases loaded for Cooper Pummel. Rodriguez hitting his glove. He doesn't look too happy. I wonder if they're going to visit the mound and talk to him before he pitches the Hummel. Walk this way, that's right. Hummel at the plate. He flew out his last at bat. All we need is a base hit here. He hits this one out to left field. Another pop up. Shallow center field. Marte's back. Puts it away, and that's it. Hummel flies out again. Bases loaded. Nothing doing. 2 hits for the Astros and a walk. And they leave the bases loaded. I have to say that if I never see Cooper Hummel in the lineup again, I'd be okay with that. It's not just that one at bat, it's the whole body of work. He just hasn't been showing anything at all. Like nothing. Nothing, really. He's basically always flatlining with an occasional blip. He doesn't have like a stint even. Some players have, like Christian Walker. Christian Walker has his issues, and I'm not a fan of Christian Walker, but at least he can get hot for a little while. Hummel doesn't do that. Hummel will have a blip, and then he goes right back to being his baseline. Yep, Crispy, it's happened way too many times. Right off the bat, we get a couple runners on, 2 or 3 runners, leave them on. Leave them on base. You're absolutely right. But there's one thing I can do, and that is pour myself a fresh hot cup of coffee. Cooper Hummel can't stop me from enjoying a cup of coffee. He can spoil the Astros' attempts at RBIs, but he cannot spoil my enjoyment of a fresh hot cup of coffee. Take that, Cooper Pummel. Cooper Ho Hummel. That's going to be his nickname from now on until he proves me otherwise. It's Ho Hummel. Cooper Ho Hummel. Fromber just finishes up taking his last warm-up toss. Travis is checking in on the Space Cowboys. I hear that. The Houston Space Cowboys. Gurriel Jr. is at the plate. Here's the pitch. Low and inside, ball one. Look how much thinner he is. He's super lean compared to Yuli, right? Yuli Gurriel, his older brother. Here comes the next pitch. Low and inside again. 2 balls and no strikes. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. Gurriel bounces that one foul down the third base side for strike one. Stros, go get some runs. Cooper Baumel. I see that. Two and one is the count. Here in the bottom of the fourth, Lourdes Gurriel Jr., here's the toss. Bounces it off of his leg. Little foul ball there. 2-2 is the count. Right, Crispy. You know, it kind of reminds me. I know that some people will probably say that this is such an extreme example, but if you think about somebody that you're dating, right? You start dating a new person. Here's the pitch, the 2-2 outside. 3-2 is the count. You start dating a person, like if I start dating a girl and she's really, really nice, but she really, really beats herself up all the time and she doesn't believe in herself and everything that she says is just negative and constantly negative. And some people will stay with a girl like that or stay with a guy like that. Here's the pitch, outside, ball 4. A full count walk to Gurriel, and that's a leadoff base runner for the Diamondbacks. Next batter is Eugenio Suarez. But anyway, a lot of people will stay with somebody like that and even get into a relationship with them because they think they can encourage them enough and change them and that sort of thing. But you can't change anybody. They have to believe and then change their own state. Now you can believe that they are changed, but you can't force anybody to change. The count is 0-1 to Suarez after that foul ball. Here comes the next pitch. Outside check swing, did he go? Yes, he did. Strike 2. So I think it's similar with Hummel. I believe he can, but he will not until he believes he can. Does that make sense? Here comes the 0-2. Fouled off. Count remains 0-2. He definitely can. And I believe he can. I know he can. But he can't until he believes he can. That's the truth. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. All right. Suarez goes down. Man, how about that? 0 for 2 today against Valdez. Suarez has met his match. 92-mile-per-hour changeup. Look at this. Whiff, baby. 1 out. Runner on first. Naylor at the plate. Grounds this one to Dubon, who flips to short, and short goes over to Walker for the double play. We got ourselves a Fromber special. Got ourselves a Fromber special. You are Fromburglared. You got yourself Fromburglared, Mr. Naylor. That's going to be my next emoji. For those of you who are members or thinking about becoming members of my channel, I have custom emojis. Right now I have 4 custom emojis. For example, I have one for Victor Caratini, the Batman emoji. I also have just the Geaux Stros emoji. I also have a Gordon old-timey jam emoji. But right now, because I only have 4 members, I'm limited to a certain number of emojis, custom emojis that I can create. So I've only created 4 custom emojis. You can use these emojis if you become a member, and the more members I have, the more custom emojis that I can make. And one of the next emojis that I want to make is the From Burglar. And I have to give credit for that to one of my subscribers, because I think I heard it from him first. But it's just perfect. It's hilarious. And I think those emojis are good. Whenever Fromberg gets like the double play, or he gets out of a jam, or he strikes somebody out, that's a good time, because they got From Burgled, right? From Burglar. It's just funny. It's really good. So that's going to be my next emoji. But I can't add it right now because I don't have enough members. If you guys are interested in joining as a member, I've got 3 tiers. Tier 1 is very, very cheap, guys. It's less than $5 a month to help support my channel. And Tier 2 even is cheap. Tier 1 and Tier 2 are very, very cheap. Tier 3 is more expensive. But you also get some extra bonuses. I'll tell you about that in just a second. Zach Short is at the plate with the 0-1 count. Here comes the next pitch. He grounds it on the right side, foul for strike 2. Yeah, fried okra is another one that I might be making. It's just one of my favorites. Here comes the next pitch. Way high and outside. Man, that was almost a wild pitch. 1 ball and 2 strikes. I'm thinking about just taking Fromberg's picture, giving it to the AI, and mentioning From Burglar and saying, what would you come up with for this image, this caricature? Man, another strikeout for Zach Short. He's gone down a couple of times to Rodriguez. Not looking good today for Mr. Short. Cam Smith comes to the plate. Here comes the first toss. Little generous right there on that strike zone. It's a little outside, but called a strike. 0-1 is the count. 60 pitches now for Rodriguez. Here comes the pitch to Cam in the dirt. 1-1. It would be funny. Maybe the Houston area McDonald's can do that, Daryl, right? It's not a bad idea. I think it's a good idea. They should do it. Should totally do that. Here comes the pitch. Outside. 2 balls and 1 strike to crank it up Cam. Cam shaft. Give him the Cam shaft. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Is that in there? Yes, it is. I'm sorry, that was a 2-1 pitch. Now it's 2-2. Astros now have 17 players on the injured list. They are 2 ahead of the Orioles. Little high, full count. Cam hasn't actually received any good pitches. The ones that were called strikes were either not in the zone or not right in the zone. Let's see if he gets a good one here on the full count. Here it comes. Too high and inside. There we go. Umpire laid off that time. Thank goodness. Cam gets a much deserved and well earned walk. 1 out base runner. check this out. American League RBI leaders this month. Victor Caratini, the Batman, and Superman Jose Altuve tied at 17 each, both on the Astros. How about that? How about that, guys? Speaking of Altuve, he's at the plate. Rodriguez has a timer violation, so the count's going to move to 1 ball, no strikes. Altuve was in there ready to go. I guess Rodriguez wanted Altuve to enjoy the booze a little longer. The count is 1-0 without a pitch being thrown. Come on, Altuve, rip this one out. You've been threatening all game. Now's the time, baby. Here's the pitch. On the outside edge, strike one. Cam dunk. Crispy. Cam dunk. It's a Cam dunk. Jay, I don't doubt that. It's possible you did. I don't remember, but I trust you. Because that's the thing. That's why I said one of you guys came up with it. It wasn't me. I'm using it because I love it. I think it's hilarious. But I admit, I did not come up with it. I'll tell you when I came up with it, but I did not come up with that one. So I'm willing to admit that I didn't create it. Here's the pitch. Altuve lays down the bunt on the left side, and Rodriguez can't handle it. Altuve with another infield hit. He continues to lead the entire MLB in infield hits. 23 infield hits. Right at the last moment, just lays it down. Pitcher can't handle it. He fumbles it. Look at him. He's doing exactly what we were taught not to do as children, right? Don't pick the ball up with your freaking glove. Use your hand. Why are you trying to pick it up with your glove? How many decades of baseball do you have to play before you stop trying to pick the ball up with your freaking glove? Professionals, huh? Professionals. 2 runners on with 1 out for Christian Walker in his own park, baby. Come on, show some of that comfort zone. Here, he's 2 for 2 today. Bounces it down the third baseline for strike one. Come on, Walker. You should be at ease in this park. Daryl, do you know why? Do you know why Altuve's so fast? It's because his knees are in such great shape. Here's the pitch to Walker. He skies that one to center field. Looks playable to right center. Cam Smith is going to tag and go for 3. He's going to get there easily. They throw it and cut it off. All right, so out number 2, but we do have runners on the corners. So Walker advances Cam, but still looking for the RBI. Altuve at first base. Cam at third. Yiner coming up to the plate to give him a shiner. Come on, man. I believe in you. You were the catcher of the future. Let's see it. Here's the pitch. Fouled off. Show us a little something, something. 0-1 is the count. Rodriguez now up to 70 pitches. McCormick is on deck. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Diaz. Ground ball to shortstop, and that's going to be out number 3. Diaz grounds out. And Altuve making friends at second base after he runs out there. He's patting the shortstop, or the second baseman on the back. Making friends wherever he goes, just like Naruto. For those of you who've ever watched the anime Naruto, there will be like this bad guy who comes into the village and he's killing people. He's killing villagers and he's killing people and he's too strong and nobody can beat him or whatever. And then Naruto will go out and confront him and they'll have this big fight that lasts a really long time, many episodes, and Naruto almost dies. And in the end, they become friends. Why? Because Naruto is able to connect with everybody. Basically, that's the joke about the anime Naruto, is that he's able to connect with everybody and feel their pain, and then they resonate and they connect on a deep level, and he changes their heart, and then they become friends, right? That's like Altuve out there. He's out on the base pads. Yainer Diaz grounds grounds out, or he forces Altuve out at second base. And what does Altuve do? He goes over to the second baseman and puts his arm around him and starts talking to him, making friends. I hope Altuve lives a long, happy, healthy life to a ripe old age, because more and more people should get to experience the wholesome goodness that is Jose Altuve. 5 hits for the Astros, 2 hits for the D-backs. We go into the bottom of the 5th, 0-0. Fromber at 52 pitches. Not too bad. He's averaging 13 pitches per inning right now. 32 strikes out of those 52. He's going to be facing Randall Grichuk here in just a moment. The steal home. I haven't seen a home plate steal in a long, long time. You know, hey, Plays, welcome in. Thanks for being here. You know, as Altuve's career progresses, I'm not necessarily against him being DH often. Sometimes you can just completely let him rest. If the game doesn't matter too much, you can let him rest. The games where maybe he would be worked a little too much in the field, let him DH. There's ways to work around it. If he needs rest, or if he needs a break or whatever, we can play to his strengths and give him a break when we need, you know? Obviously, he can't play every single game anymore. But there's ways to shuffle the lineup around, you know? Here comes the first pitch to Grichuk. Low and inside, ball 1. Framber Valdez quietly having a pretty good day today. Here comes the next pitch. This is hit out into left center. It's going to get down. Looks like Chas McCormick, man, he cuts it off. Man, Chas waited too long to throw that ball in. Chas made a really good stop. He was thinking about diving. Looked like he was thinking about diving to catch it, but instead got it on the short hop, but he delayed throwing the ball in. If you take a look at it, look how long it takes him to throw the ball in. See that? If he had pulled up fast and thrown it in, he would have thrown him out at second base. Yeah, look at how long it took him to get that ball in. Good catch. Bad delay. There's a bunt to Fromber, who throws it to first, but that's off target. He's going to be safe at first base. Everybody's safe. Runners on first and third with no outs. So Perdomo lays down the bunt straight to Fromber, and Fromber is not able to get the throw to first base. He pulls Walker off the bag. Runners on the corners. It makes me wonder if they're going to bunt the ball again. Now they're having a meeting on the mound right now. Doobie, Diaz, Valdez. Yeah, Crispy. He didn't dive for it. And then he held it way too long. He didn't commit. And then he reacted too slowly. So I can forgive the first one, but not the second one. Next batter is Blaze Alexander. He takes the first pitch a little far inside for ball 1. Runners on the corners, guys, with no outs. We need a We need a Fromber special to third base to Dubon. He can hold him on third, maybe. This is ground ball to right side. That's going to score a run out at first base. But the Diamondbacks take the lead 1-0. No play for Matthews except to first base. Fielder's choice, but there's nowhere to go but first. .80-mile-per-hour curve to the right side. Not even double play ball there. One away, runner on second. Jose Herrera comes to the plate. High. Ball one. Hey, old dog, welcome in. Good to see you. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Rifled out to the right field side. Foul ball for strike one. The count is even. Yeah, the Diamondbacks finally moved their runner in. They have beat us to the punch. Timeout taken by Herrera. The count is 1-1 with one out. Runner on second. Valdez finally with an earned run with an ERA. Here comes a 1-1 pitch. Grounded to the third base side, just foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Got 109 people following along quietly right now. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. If you have not liked the live stream, please do so. I think yesterday we got to 80, 82, 83 likes. I think we can definitely beat that today. Only need about 20 more to get to the tie. This is hit out to left field. Line drive. Good catch by Cooper Hummel. A diving catch, and he brings it in quickly. Perdomo has to stay at second base. So Hummel not able to do it at the plate, but he's getting it done out there on defense. That's how you do it, Chaz McCormick. You dive for it, catch it, get up quick, and throw it in. You need the whole set. Here's the first pitch to the next batter, Marte. Ketel Marte is 0 for 2 today. 1 ball, no strikes right now with the runner on second, 2 outs. Here's the pitch. This is hit out to right field. Cam Smith is back. Gets it on the track for out number 3. All right, so 1 out is the... 1 run, rather, is the damage. Fromber gets out of it with 1 run given up in 5 innings. 4 hits for the D-backs, 5 for the Astros. But the one that really matters most is the one that drove in an RBI. 1-0. Yeah, I miss Jake the Rake too. We really need some of these guys back for sure. Yeah, Crispy, you know what's really funny about Chaz that I noticed? That, you know how he got the nickname? For those of you who don't know this, they started calling him the Chazmanian Devil. But he did so poorly last year that I haven't heard him be called that in any live broadcast in months. They stopped calling him that. Now, you know that you're playing poorly when your fans and the announcers stop referring to you by your nickname. You know that you've really slipped. Because you can go through a stint, right? You can go through a short stint, a cold spell or whatever, and come back and it's no problem. And you won't lose your nickname. But when you do so poorly for such an extended period of time that people just stop stop calling you by your nickname. They stop calling you the Chasmanian Devil. They just call you Chaz, or they call you McCormick. Then you've just become another average player or a bad player. You don't even deserve the endearment of the nickname anymore, right? It's unfortunate, but that's the way it is. Ball. 5 more feet would have been a homer. He's trying to become the Chasmanian Devil, but he just can't seem to wake up that inner beast. Right now, Chaz is like Bruce Banner in the Marvel Avengers movies, where he's trying to make himself become the Hulk and he just can't. Sad. Here's the pitch. Bryce Matthews now at the plate, over 2 today. His only 2 home runs with the Astros both came yesterday. He put up 5 runs on the board for the Stros. It'd be nice for him to tie up the game right here, but can't necessarily expect that. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Below the zone. 2 balls and no strikes. Yeah, we waited and waited, and Chaz finally came back, and he has done nothing but destroy his batting average. That's in there in the bottom of the zone for strike 1. 2 balls and 1 strike to Bryce Matthews. I remember last year, Chaz's batting average, it kept going down steadily, and I was like, man, he's going to try to get it under 200. Sure enough, he did. He got it under 190, maybe even 180. 3 balls and 1 strike to Matthews. But it was during that time last year that people stopped calling him Chasmanian Devil. Here's the 3-1 pitch. 89 right in there. That was a hitter's pitch right there. 89 right in the middle of the zone, Mr. Matthews. Full count. Crispy. A used car salesman. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Low and inside. That's a walk. 3 walks for Rodriguez today, so Matthews will be on first base with 1 out. Doobie comes to the plate. We really need the bottom of the batting order to step up and do something. Almost all of our hits have come from the top of the batting order. Here comes the first pitch. Nope, he goes over to first base. Matthews is back. Yeah, Casey Myers has definitely earned a break. I mean, I hate that it has to come at the expense of an injury, but I want him healthy. This is grounded to second. Might be another double play, and it is. Easy double play, and that's it for the Astros this inning, just like that. Hummel doesn't even get the opportunity to come up and fly out again. 6 innings of shutout baseball for Eduardo Rodriguez against the Astros. 5 hits, no runs for the Astros. Eduardo having a masterful game. Fromber only slightly less so. 4 hits, 1 run. 1-0, the Diamondbacks over the Astros in Arizona. But I have a feeling that second half is going to belong to the Astros ultimately. We'll see. Yeah, he does have a terrible ERA. I expected the Astros to be getting a lot of hits off this guy. Even if they weren't big hits, I expected them to be a lot of hits because he gives up a lot of hits. He gives up more hits, a lot more hits than he does innings. Like, if you combine his walks and his hits given up, it's a tremendous amount. But right now, the stats are just not showing it. The Astros aren't getting all the hits and the walks. I mean, 3 walks is not good in 5 innings, 6 innings. 3 walks is not good, but it's not really bad either. It's just so-so. Yeah, we've been grounding into double plays today, that's for sure. Casey. Yes, McCormick is not really a player. They're just disguising him as a player, right? They send him to AAA to get the scoop on the minor league guys and send them up to the Astros. Yeah, that's a good plan. Sneaky. Well, you know, Crispy, once again, you're talking about the Astros not doing good against pitchers with higher ERAs. It kind of reminds us of that argument that some people make that the Astros play up or play down to their opponent, right? First pitch from Fromber to Corbin Carroll is right in there for strike one. Nice curveball. 0-1 is the count. Here comes the next pitch. Too high and inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Bryce Matthews, Zach Short, John Singleton. Well, it's easy to see that Singleton's been hitting pretty well. He's been hitting a lot of bombs recently since he's been with Houston. This is grounded right to Fromber, who backhands it and tosses it to McCormick easily for out number 1. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. comes to the plate with 1 out, nobody on. Here comes a pitch. A little low. Ball 1 to Gurriel. That pitch was on the outside edge for strike 1. The count's even, 1-1. Hey, there's Joe Espada. What's up, Joe? What do you say, Joe? What do you know, Joe? Here's the pitch. Outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. Grounded through the hole. Short makes the diving stop. He does make the throw, but it's too late. He's safe. Great play by Short, but Gurriel's able to beat it out just barely. Short, just short. It was an excellent play. Close, but no cigar. Man, that was close. It's going to be an infield hit, but what a great play by Zach Short. Swing and a miss, down and low. Eugenio Suarez at the plate. A ground out and a strikeout for him today. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Check swing, did he go? They say he did not. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. Fouled off down the first base side. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Suarez. Yeah, Crispy, Chaz has lost his title indeed. I noticed that even the Astros announcer don't mention it anymore. Nobody calls him that anymore. That's what I think is sad. Swing and a miss. Look at that. Another strikeout. Suarez, you go sit down. You think about what you've done. 2 strikeouts against Suarez today. Fromber's owning him. He's 0 for 3. Two outs. Josh Naylor comes to the plate with a runner on first. Here comes the first pitch from Fromber. Right in the bottom of the zone. Good pitch. 80-mile-per-hour curveball. Strike 1. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. In the dirt. Ball 1. The count is even. Maybe when Chaz was the Chazmanian Devil, his theme song was I Believe I Can Fly. But now his theme song is "I Believe I Can Try." 1 ball, 1 strike. Here comes the toss. Naylor swings and chops it right to Walker. Easy play. Steps on first base. A Fromber special. Naylor, you are Frombergled. You got Frombergled. We go to the top of the 7th, guys. Framber Valdez up to 76 pitches. So his day is not done. Eduardo Rodriguez is at 79 pitches, and he'll be up in just a moment to face Cooper Pummel or Cooper Ho Hummel. We will find out in a few moments. Yeah, Casey, you're right. We have new players and better nicknames. That's right. I kind of feel like they gave Hunter Brown a nickname too quickly. They started calling him Diesel a long time ago. But I'm not even quite sure. I don't know. I don't know where the nickname came from. Maybe he had the nickname before he was even with the Astros. I don't know. But it's kind of hard to give him a nickname when they already have given him a nickname. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I heard about that, Casey. I heard that they used to call him Bubba. I also don't like that nickname because I don't think it really connects much with what I'm seeing. You know, when I use a nickname for a player, it's because it just seems to make sense for various reasons. It naturally comes to me. I don't try. When I try to create nicknames for players, it's difficult. Hummel's at the plate. Here comes the first pitch. He rips that one foul down the third baseline into the crowd for strike one. A fly out and a pop out. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss below the zone. 79-mile-per-hour curveball. The count is 0-2. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. High. 1-2. Hummel is the 8th batter in the lineup. It would be really nice for him and Short to come up today. Neither one of them have any hits. Little high and outside. Ball 2. 2-2. How nice would it be for the top of the batting order to come up with some guys on base? 4 of the Astros' 5 hits are in the top 4 of the batting lineup. Here comes the 2-2. High and outside. Good take. So after a couple of strikes, a foul ball, and a swing and a miss, 3 straight balls, the count is full. Thanks, Cousin Brian. Here comes the full count pitch. He grounds this one to the left side. The shortstop grabs it, fires over, and out number 1. It was in the strike zone, so he was right to swing, but the result was not good. 100 people following right now, and that's been pretty consistent. 69 likes. We still need about 13 more likes to tie yesterday's stream. Let's jack it up. If you haven't liked the live stream, I appreciate you doing so right now. Zach Short goes after the first pitch. An 86-mile-per-hour changeup, low and outside, almost in the dirt. The truck. Here's the pitch. Low and outside again. He doesn't swing at this one. I guess he learned his lesson on the last pitch. 1-1 is the count. Yes, Crispy, I agree. The nickname, the Big Dumper, I only get one thing in my mind when I hear that, and I'm not going to say what it is. Holy cow, 93 2 to 3 inches out of the zone, called a strike by the umpire. He owes us that one back. 1-2 is the count against Zach Short. Here comes the toss. 93 up and out. 2-2. If I'm Rodriguez, I just keep throwing it on the outside edge. If the umpire's going to call him that poorly. 1 out, nobody on. Short at the plate. Let's do something. He hits it up the middle. It's off the pitcher. It might be trouble for the third baseman. There's no play. Short's going to get an infield hit. He did make something happen. He listened to me. He listened to me. I said make something happen, and he did it. That was definitely something. Hit it right off of Rodriguez's leg, and there was no play to be made after that. No problem getting to first base. Now the pitching coach is going to come out? They're going to come out after that, really? Oh, Cam Smith is coming up. The top of the Astros batting order is up. They're going to take him out. They're not going to let him continue. How about that? He's not happy about it. He's at 90 pitches. He looked unhappy about that, but he laughed and smiled. He's taking it. Zach Short on first base, guys. We got a new pitcher coming in just a moment for Cam Smith. The top of the Astros batting order due up with a runner on and just 1 out. Short little break as they warm up the new pitcher. Jay, are you serious? Can you imagine if you're playing baseball in school, like middle school, and your future self visits you and says, guess what, in the future you're going to become a very popular and successful MLB baseball player. And you say, oh, that's cool. What are we going to be like? Well, your nickname is going to be the Big Dumper, and you're going to have sponsorships with a porta potty company. I think if you told yourself that when you were like in middle school, you'd probably stop playing baseball. You'd say, no thanks, I don't want to be the Big Dumper. Let's take a look at the poll, guys. I put up a poll earlier and we had 47 votes. The question was very simple. Where do you think Altuve should be in the playoffs? At second base, DH only, or left field? Now, this is pretty amazing, okay? I did not expect it to be this lopsided. 82% second base, 12% DH only, and just 4% left field. That is an amazingly overwhelming opinion from Astros fans. 47 people voting. That is not an insignificant poll. That is not insignificant. Wow. Pretty amazing. Kevin Ginkel is in the game for the Diamondbacks, a right-hander. Kevin Ginkel. I don't know, what a weird name, Ginkel. ERA is 8.18. 8.18. The Astros broadcasters say that Ginkel often leaves the ball over the plate. You know what that means. It's home run derby time, baby. Peanut butter derby time. Peanut butter derby time. Jay, I believe you. You say you're serious, I believe you. I can see it. There's probably a lot of money in it for him, too. The Big Dumper. That's crazy. Cam Smith at the plate takes the first pitch on the outside edge, 86 miles an hour, strike one. Zach Short is on first base. 0-1 is the count. Here comes the toss from Ginkel. No, he goes over to first base. Short's back. Here comes the 0-1 to Smith outside. 1 ball and 1 strike to crank it up, Cam. Vroom, vroom, vroom. Let's crank it up. Let's get it going. Here comes the toss. Don't swing at that one. 87 outside on the slider. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here comes that 1-2 pitch. Fouled off. 96 above the zone. The name is almost as bad as Dinklage. Yes, that's right, Chris. Ginkle. Can you imagine if they had a wedding like that between a girl and a guy with these names? The Dinklage wedding. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Cam Smith goes down. Having a pretty poor day today. Cam Smith looking pretty bad at the plate. The second, third, and fourth batters for the Astros have been the ones getting the hits today. 4 of our 6 hits have come from Altuve, Walker, and Diaz, actually. And speaking of Altuve, he's at the plate right now. The boos were actually kind of moderate, but what I like to see in the stands is how many people are holding up their phones and taking video. This is a legend at the plate. You better enjoy it. 1 ball and no strikes. Good take on the outside. We got 2 outs and a runner on first. Jose knows this is a very important at bat. Here comes the pitch. That one was high. Called a strike, but about 2 inches above the zone. Look how high this was. Literally at his shoulders, at his neck. 1 ball, 1 strike. He's back in the box. Pitcher's ready to go. Here comes a pitch from Ginkle. Altuve takes that one way outside. 2-1. Two balls and 1 strikes to Altuve. Here's the pitch. Way high. 3-1. Got the old hitter's count. Runner on first base is going to be one of 2 earned runs for Rodriguez in just a moment. Altuve needs to put on the infinity glovelet. Here's the pitch. Way high, ball 4. So Altuve works the count, gets a 5-pitch walk. He actually didn't receive a single pitch in the zone. The only one that was called a strike was too high. But he got the walk that he deserved. And speaking of walk, here's Walker. I don't have a problem with Walker batting right now with 2 runners on, because we're in Arizona. I think that he's been doing better here, because my assumption was that he would feel comfortable hitting here and he would do better, and he has been doing pretty decently. Here's the pitch. A little low. Ball 1. Walker leading all of the Astros today in hits. He's got 2. 2 for 3. And he's 4 for 7 so far in this series. So he's getting it done. Here comes the 1-0 count. Runners on first and second. Bounces it foul down the third baseline. The count is even, 1-1. Look at that. Just about 3 more likes on the live stream to tie yesterday's record for the whole game. If you guys can get it up. I think that we can get this to 90. It'd be nice to end with at 100, but who knows if that will happen. We'll see. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Outside. 2-1. That was a good take. Luckily, the umpire didn't call that a strike. He's been iffy with those pitches all day long today. 2-1 is the count to the Diamondbacks' former teammate, Christian Walker. Here comes the toss. This one's hit hard to left field, and it's going to be right at Gurriel, and that's out number 3. So they strand 2 more runners. No RBIs for Walker and the Astros today. Not so far. That's going to be it. Walker flies out. An easy fly out to left field. Gurriel didn't even have to move to get it. 6 hits for the Stros, 5 for the D-backs. This game is 1-0. 1-0. Arizona. We go into the bottom of the 7th. Fromber should be back up on the mound in just a moment. He's up to 77 pitches. This is the kind of game that I really don't enjoy. Now, of course, yeah, if you think about it, if your team is getting blown out from the very beginning, kind of like that McCullers game where you got blown up in the first inning, and then the Astros were down by a ton of runs, like 10 or 11 runs from the start. Even though they wound up losing the game, they really did fight back on offense, and the reliever pitchers did a pretty good job of limiting the damage after that. But the Astros went up scoring what, like 7 or 9 runs, something like that. They really did mount a comeback. Of course, they wound up losing, but it was a fun game to watch. I was able to let go and not be stressed about it, and just wait for the Astros to start hitting the ball. And at the very least, I could say, well, you know what? Yes, McCullers had a blow-up inning, but look at what the batters did. Look at what the offense did. And that's exactly what the Astros did. And I was able to enjoy that game. So even a blowout, you can enjoy it and just relax, no reason to stress. But a game that is this close, like 0-1, 0-0, 1-0, 1-1, or whatever, it's not so enjoyable, because there's a lot of frustration, a lot of tension, and then no release. It's just let down. You get a guy or two on base, they get stranded. You get a guy or two on base, they get stranded. Crispy is saying exactly what I was just saying. He says these games are the worst. Our pitching is great, but our offense takes the night off. They decide to score runs when our pitching is bad. Yeah, I absolutely agree. This is my least favorite type of game. Yesterday was a really great, perfect baseball game, and today has been the total opposite. Here's the next pitch from Fromber. I'm not saying that I would rather Fromber give up 10 runs today. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that when the offense isn't scoring, when Fromber is pitching so well, why does that happen so much? Hunter Brown or Fromber or even Walter. Brandon Walter had a great game. He only gave up 1 run the other day. And the Astros just couldn't win the game. But the relievers blew it. That's hit right up the middle. Short can't get it. He's going for 2. No, he puts the brakes on and goes back to first. Short dives after that hit by Grichuk, but he's not able to get to it. It was close. It was a 1-hop bouncer that went right past him. He dove at it, couldn't quite get his glove on it. Leadoff runner on first. They're going to pull Grichuk out and put a pinch runner on. I guess Grichuk's knees are bad. Oh, man. Next batter is Geraldo Perdomo. Double play ball. Give him the old Fromber special. That's not it. High and outside, ball 1. Time to get Frombergled. 81 likes on the live stream. Thank you, guys. We are 2 away from yesterday's total. Thank you. There's this hit to the left side. It's going to be through for a hit. Single. They bring the ball in. Runner stops at second base. Runners on first and second. Perdomo gets a single. Nice easy line drive single to the left side. Runners on first and second. Fromber up to 81 pitches right now. Are they going to have a little visit on the mound with Josh Miller? You'd think that they'd do that right now. Fromber giving up back-to-back singles. Why would they not visit him right now? No outs, back-to-back singles. I think now's a good time to come out and say, hey, how you feeling? But they're not doing that. In Japanese, I would say, wakaranai. Just means I don't understand. Blaze Alexander at the plate. Here's the pitch. 89-mile-per-hour changeup right in there for strike one. Daryl, exactly. That's what I was just saying. It's time for a mound visit. Why didn't they? Here's the pitch. In the dirt. Ball one, 1-1. By the way, they just showed a statistic on the screen. The Diamondbacks and the Astros with runners in scoring position. Astros are 0 for 7. The Diamondbacks are 1 for 7. Both teams struggling to get runners in with runners in scoring position. It's been a pitcher's game. Here's the pitch. 6 in the bottom of the zone. Nice stinker. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The crowd is booing, but that was clearly in the zone. Herrera turned around and complained to the umpire. Look at this. That's a strike. And he starts griping at the umpire. Don't be a baby. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Fouls it off. 96 in the top of the zone. Count remains 1-2. Don't pull a hammy. Here comes the 1-2 pitch to Herrera. This is hit to the right side, left side, I'm sorry. Thrown home. They get it out at the plate. Dubon picks it up, fires it home. Gets the out at home. No run score. Take a look at this play. Hit hard to Dubon. Dubon scoops it up, goes straight home, gets the out at the plate. Diaz puts the tag on. The Diamondbacks coach is out there whining like a baby. I think he's trying to say something about Diaz blocking the plate, but that's ridiculous because the ball was there so early. Man, what a bunch of babies. Look at that. The coach is trying to say he was blocking the plate. He was not blocking the plate. Plenty of room for him to slide around there. Now they're discussing it. What a bunch of babies. They're actually discussing this. Is that a reviewable play? I'm not aware that that's a reviewable play. Why are they doing this? Why are they having this discussion? There's no way he was blocking the lane. He didn't even have a chance anyway. The ball was there way before he was. They're still discussing it. Maybe they're like, listen, we want to make sure that the Arizona coach feels like we discussed it, so let's pretend we're discussing it for a really long time. I don't know what's going on there. The coach is talking on the phone to somebody. Finally, they break it up. What are they going to say here? Yeah, Joe Spada's asking, can he get a couple of warm-up pitches? Okay. No decision on that. No catcher's interference. No duh. Waste of time and no warm-up pitches for Valdez. The next pitch is fouled off by Marte. Marte at the plate with an 0-1 count now. 0 for 7 in his career versus Valdez. Tonight 0 for 3. Runners on first and third with 2 outs, guys. Here comes the next pitch from Framber. Woo, man, that was a little below the zone. Marte not happy about that. A little gimme from the umpire, though. I'm going to admit that was not a good pitch. But you know what? You can complain about it, but the Astros have been having to deal with the same thing, buddy. It's been going both ways. Strike two. I don't believe that, Willard. The Arizona coach came out and complained and pushed the umpires to have a little meeting, and the umpires made the right call. There's nothing bad about that. That was good. Here's the pitch. High and outside, ball 1, 2 strikes, 1 ball. Crispy says it's reviewable if it's against the Astros. That's not true. It's not that bad. Here's the 1 and 2 pitch from Fromber. Marte swings and misses. Strike 3. He got Frombergled. Yeah, that's right. I did everything I could do. Dadgummit. I complained, I whined, I was the squeaky wheel, and it didn't work. They always told me that the squeaky wheel got the oil, but they give me nothing. They give me nothing. Gosh darn it. He even took off his hat. He was so upset. Forget you, bro. MLB doesn't need a bunch of babies. You're grown men. Act like it. Act like it. We go into the top of the 8th. Framber Valdez gets out of the inning. Despite all the base traffic, Valdez has gone through 7 innings, giving up 1 run. 7 hits. A little high. But he's gotten it done today. Fromber had a good game, a really good game today. 4 strikeouts, only 1 walk, no home runs. The run that scored was like a sacrifice, basically. It was a ground ball in the infield that scored a run. A fielder's choice. Other than that, that's it. That's all he's given up in 7 innings. What a great game. The Astros need to win this game. Absolutely, they need to win this game. You know, if the Astros can score here in the 8th, if they can actually take the lead in the 8th inning, I would like to see Fromber come out and pitch at least to just 1 batter. just so he could get the win, because he deserves it. But he's at 93 pitches. It's wishful thinking. Wishful thinking. So my wish for this game is for the Astros to take the lead in the 8th, Fromber to come out and get 1 out, or face at least 1 batter in the 8th, and then them to bring in the reliever so he can get the win. That's my wishful thinking. What are the chances of that? Probably 1%. But that's my wish for this game. Yainer Diaz is scheduled up, followed by Chas McCormick and Bryce Matthews, assuming there are no pinch hits in the game. I wouldn't mind seeing Caratini right now for Diaz, but Diaz is at the plate. Outside, Jake Woodford is in the game for the Diamondbacks. 1 ball, no strikes to Diaz. 4.35 ERA. Swing and a foul tip miss. No, a 2.08. Where am I getting that other number from? They were showing a different number on the screen. He's actually got a really good career versus Woodford. He's got some doubles, RBIs. Here's the pitch. He hits this up the middle. Perdomo scoops it up and heads over to first base to get the first out. Little ground out there. That's right, Chris. Just desserts for not letting the pitcher warm up. Taylor Trammell comes to the plate. Taylor Trammell batting in the place of Chas McCormick. Come on, Trammell. I believe in you, bro. Here's the pitch. ripped hard. Wow. That struck the Astros dugout really hard. He almost hit Chas McCormick, the guy that he just replaced. Chas had to dive out of the way there. 0-1 is the count. Here comes the next pitch to Trammell. Low and outside. Swing and a miss. 0-2. Trammell calls a timeout, steps out of the box. I'm going to say that we're done with the injuries this year. Our injury list is about to start going down, 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 down. Trust me. Here's the 0-2 count. In the dirt, 1-2. Woodford on the mound facing Taylor Trammell in the top of the 8th. The Astros have been shut out so far. They have 6 hits. Let's see if they have better luck against Woodford. Here's the 1-2 pitch. High, 2-2. Woodford has now started to throw the ball around the zone, trying to get Trammell to chase something. Trammell currently batting .209. He has brought his batting average up significantly since he started with the Astros. Here's the pitch. Fouls it off on the left side. 97-mile-per-hour pitch right in the zone there. Change up. We're now at 86 likes. We're getting close to 90. Getting close to 90 on the live stream. Thanks, guys. Here's the pitch. A little outside. Full count. How about that? From 0-2 to 3-2. Here comes the full count pitch. Trammell takes it for ball 4. How about that? We got ourselves a fast guy on base now. A 1-out base runner here in the top of the 8th. Astros look like they have more Astros Youth Academy graduates. Oh no, Bryce Matthews hits it out to left field. It's gone! It's gone! Bryce Matthews on the very first pitch. He cranks it out. The Astros lead 2-1. The third home run in 2 games by Bryce Matthews. The very first pitch. It's a no-doubter to left field. Matthews walking back to the dugout, strutting like he owns this place. Man, Arizona is going to be happy to see him leave. The crowd went completely silent right there. How about that? 2-1. Doobie at the plate with 1 out, nobody on. Takes the first pitch. And you should have seen Fromber there. Fromber was so excited right there. Love to see the pitchers and the hitters responding so heavily to each other. Here's the next pitch. Doobie hits this one out in the right field. It's going to be down for a hit. Single for Doobie. We have ourselves another base runner. Dubon on first base with 1 out. Yeah, take that, you filthy snakes, filthy animal. That was a Swiffer in the bottom of the zone. 81 miles an hour sweeper in the very bottom of the zone, and Matthews just swept it out. Speaking of sweeping, he just swept it out of the park. Holy cow. Giving the love to the bullpen immediately. Good job, young fella. Man, keep going, man. Keep going. 3 home runs already. Holy freaking cow. In just 2 games. Cooper Hummel comes to the plate. Batting lefty against Woodford. Woodford throws over to first base. Doobie is back. This crowd is like a ghost town now. This stadium is like a ghost town. 2-1 Stros. Here's the pitch to Hummel. Swing and a miss. 0-1 on the changeup. That's the same exact pitch that Matthews hit out of the park. Fromber much, much happier now. Here comes the next pitch. Tapper right at the plate. They're going to second. No, there's no chance to go to first. They get the leadoff runner. But there's no double play possibility there. Herrera makes a good play to get the lead runner at second. 2 away. Hummel on first base. Yeah, Brian, it was a huge hit. Hey, Roustabout, thanks for coming in. Good day to you. I had some friends visit here from Australia the other day. I'm in Hiroshima, Japan. Zach Short at the plate. They throw over to first base. Hummel back. Jake Woodford on the mound. He's given up a couple of hits to the Stros, including the big one from Bryce Matthews, giving them the lead. Here's a pitch to Zach Short, right in the bottom of the zone, taken for strike one. Thank you very much for loving the stream, Mr. Roustabout. And I will do my best to keep up the great work. You guys keep supporting me and keep being positive about the channel and the Astros, and we're all good. Here's the pitch. Grounded foul by Short. 0-2 is the count. Yeah, I've got several friends from Australia, actually. And another one of my friends from Australia, he's visited me once here this year. He's coming back in the next couple of months to visit again. He comes to Japan often. Here's the pitch. Little wide. Hummel is stealing second base. It goes into center field. He's going to rush for third. Is he going to get there? Yes, he is. How about that? First steal for Cooper Hummel. Bad throw by Perdomo to second base. Hummel is able to wind up on third base. So with 2 outs and a 1-2 count, Short has an opportunity for an easy RBI here. Let's see if he can do it. I think he can. Here's the pitch. This is hit out into right field. Second baseman is underneath it. Marte puts it away, no problem. So the Astros don't pick up another run, but they've got the lead, 2-1. Bryce Matthews with the big hit on that Swiffer right in the bottom of the zone. Eight hits for the Astros now, 7 for the Diamondbacks. Astros lead 2-1. 1 error for the Diamondbacks, none. Oh, I'm sorry, 2 errors for the Diamondbacks in this game, none for the Stros. We go into the bottom of the 8th. So we have one primary mission, which is to hold the lead, and that's on the pitchers and the defense. And we've got to do that for 6 more outs. But we also have an opportunity in the 9th inning to tack on some insurance runs, so that's our second focus. First focus is allow no more runs. Second focus, add some more runs of our own. 91 likes. Awesome. Thank you so much. 122 people following along right now. If we can get to 100 likes, this will be an all-time high. 100 likes on the live stream will be the first time I've done that ever. Now, last year I started my channel about 1 year ago. I didn't even start at the beginning of the year. I was in school. I was dealing with illness. I've been fighting cancer now for over 3 years. Most of you know that. And just over a year ago, about a year and a half ago, I started school, Japanese language school. So during the first half of the season, I wasn't able to do any games. I started broadcasting in the summer for the Astros last year. My channel started to take off, but then the season ended as soon as they lost to the Tigers, right, in the playoffs. So from that point, my channel kind of died. And during that time, I was never able to get to 100 likes on a live stream. This year, I have done almost every single game for 2025. Abreu is on the mound for the Stros, facing Corbin Carroll, swing and a miss, 87 low and inside for strike one. Long story short, none of my live streams have hit 100 likes, and we are 7 away right now. This might be a record. Here comes the pitch. This is hit hard to right field. It's a little shallow, though. Cam Smith rushes in to grab it, makes the play. 1 away. Luckily, it was hit hard enough so that it was able to stay up. American League relief pitchers with highest number of lead holds: Brian Abreu and Josh Hader. Oh, I need to change my pitcher on the screen. Abreu in the game. Lourdes Gurriel is at the plate right now, and that first pitch is a little inside for ball one. 1-0. Here's the pitch. Low and outside on the corner, strike one. Good pitch by by Abreu. I still got Fromber on the brain right now. Here's the pitch. High and inside. Ball two. 2-1. 1 out, nobody on. 2 balls and 1 strike to Gurriel Jr., who's facing Brian Abreu. Here's the pitch. Low and outside. 3 balls and 1 strike. A little behind in the count right now is Abreu. I'm out of coffee. Here comes a 3-1 in just a moment. Abreu looks for the call. Looks like he's got what he wants. Here comes the toss. Hit straight up in the air. Is it playable? Diaz looks at it, but it's out of play. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Yeah, I want to hit those 100 likes. It'd be nice. We're at 94 right now. 129 people following the live stream and 94 likes. 6 away from a record 100 likes. Here's the pitch. Grounded straight to short. He picks it up, fires over to first base. Nice and easy. 2 away. The 3-2 count pitch turns into out number 2. Looking good so far. Eugenio Suarez comes to the plate. 0 for 3 today. Couple of strikeouts. 98 on the outside edge. Ball 1. Here comes a 1-0 pitch from Abreu. Swing and a miss. Another 98-mile-per-hour fastball. That one was right on the edge. It would have been a strike either way. Suarez couldn't get the bat on it. 1-1 with 2 outs. 2 likes away from 100 likes on the live stream, guys. Here's the pitch. 97 above the zone. Suarez holds up. 2 balls and 1 strike. Daryl says, like McDonald's, I'm loving it. Strikeout right here. I'd love that. Here's the pitch. Woo, nice. 87 mile per hour slider. Suarez just stood there and took it right down the middle. 2 balls and 2 strikes. High fastball strikeout. I'm calling it. Here it comes. No, he goes with the slider. Low and outside, swing and a miss, but he does get the strikeout. So I was 50% correct. Yes, that's right. Brian Abreu getting it done in the 8th inning for the Astros. 3 up and 3 down. Heck yes. Astros lead 2-1. We are through 8 innings. Through 8 innings of ball, this game has been so close. 8 hits for the Stros, 7 for the Diamondbacks. No errors for the Astros, and 2 for the Snakes. 2 runs for Space City, and 1 run for the desert. I mean, where would you rather live, if you want to be honest? Would you rather live in the desert or in Space City? I mean, come on. It's a no-brainer. Guys, once again, I'll remind you. I'll keep reminding you until we get to it because I really want that. I really want that milestone. That'll be a milestone for me. We are 2 likes away on the live stream from getting to 100. If you have not liked it and are able to do so without endangering yourself, if you're driving or something like that, you can pull over on the side of the road or wait till you stop at a traffic light. But for God's sake, do not try to like the live stream if you're in the middle of operating a car, machinery, etc. Don't blame me. If you get into an accident or go through a red light, don't tell me it was my fault because I told you to be careful. 99. 1 more to go. I don't know what my subs are at right now, but we're creeping close to 800. It's a guaranteed that I'll get to 1,000 well before the end of the season. That's guaranteed. The rate that I'm getting subs right now is really good. So I thank you all for finding the channel. That's another thing is that I don't really control exposure too much. I can only keep doing what I'm doing. And then YouTube and everything else takes care of the rest. Cam Smith is at the plate. This is an opportunity for him to turn his day around. He takes the first pitch for strike 1. He is 0 for 3 today. He does have a walk. So let's see if he can hit the ball here. Low and outside in the dirt. 1-1 is the count. Are you kidding me? Brian King is warming up in the bullpen. Is that a shocker? I guess they need to give Hader a break. How about that, guys? That's something I thought I'd never see with a 1-run game. Let's hit to the third base side. Cam Smith grounds out to the third baseman. 1 away here in the top of the 9th. Well, you know what, Daryl? I would have no problems being in Houston during the season if I had a really powerful air-conditioned space. I need an air-conditioned booth in Daikin Stadium or Daikin Park so I can actually watch the game live and live stream from there. That would be my dream. Jose Altuve at the plate. Here's the first pitch. Outside, ball 1. Oh, 100. Yeah, 101 likes. Yeah, we are 1 over. Thank you so much, guys. New record. Absolutely. That's awesome. That was outside also, but called a strike, so the count is now 1-1 to Altuve. That is awesome. You know, the crazy thing is that the views today, we're at 136 viewers right now, concurrent viewers. That's the highest. Ooh, almost hit him on the inside. 2 balls and 1 strike. And to have such a high percentage of likes is really, really good. That tells me that most of you guys, whether you're Astros fans or Diamondbacks fans, you really appreciate the live stream. And I really do appreciate that. You really have no idea. Here's the next pitch. Right in the top of the zone for strike 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Altuve. 1 out. Nobody on here in the top of the 9th. I'd like to see Altuve get that home run that he missed earlier. He missed a couple of them, actually. He lines this one out to the third baseman. Did it bounce? Hey, it bounced. He caught it, but Altuve was able to beat it out by hustling down the line. Hard work wins, baby. Great play by Alexander to catch that one-hopper. Line drive bounce. Alexander was able to grab it, but by the time he got to first base, Altuve was already past the bag. Look at this hustle. Boom, baby. How do you do that when your knees are bad? Knees. Give me a break. Walker's at the plate, takes the first pitch on the outside edge for strike one. So we have a one-out base runner. Absolutely. Yeah, DeLine using those membership badges, or membership emojis. Heck yes. Go Stros, go Stros. Here comes the pitch. Way outside. 1-1 is the count. They toss it over to first base. Altuve just lies down and puts his hand on the bag. Some of the crowd actually boos again. Are those Astros fans, or is that just drunk D-backs fans? I don't know. Here comes the toss. 1-1. Fouled out of play. 1-2 is the count to Walker. Feel the force. Come on, Walker. We just need a little more insurance. Just a little more insurance. We don't want a one-run lead. We want like a 2 or 3-run lead. Come on. Hook it up. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike three. Walker goes down with the 92-mile-per-hour sinker on the outside of the zone. Yainer Diaz comes to the plate with 2 outs and Altuve on first base. I think that's actually the first strikeout today by Walker, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that was the first strikeout. Diaz has 1 hit today. Let's see if he can get another one right here. He does! Right up the middle. Single for Diaz. Altuve turns and goes to third. Runners on first and second. All right. I'm sorry, runners on first and third. Runners on the corners with 2 outs. Very first pitch. Astros having a lot of luck today on that first pitch. Jake Woodford's still on the mound for the Diamondbacks. But it looks like they might be pulling him out. Yep. Gonna have a new pitcher. They're not gonna let Woodford pitch to Taylor ride the Trammell. The Tram. They're not gonna pitch to the Tram. That's gonna have to be by nickname for Taylor Trammell, the Tram. It just matches. Ever since that great game that he had against the Mariners, that's just my idea. He just goes out, grabs himself a coffee, goes out on the city and has a good time. Just enjoys himself. He's like on a road trip. You know, when he goes on the road and plays the other teams, he just goes out on the town and enjoys it, right? He just enjoys himself. The Tram is coming up to bat in just a moment. Sports roustabout. Whoops, excuse me. I forgot to mute my microphone there. Still got just a slight cough, a little bit of congestion. It's lingered for a long time. I've had it for several weeks. You guys probably didn't notice that because I mute the microphone. I mute the microphone every time I cough. But I will say this. It has been so much better today. So I decided not to take any more medicine because I took medicine for basically 2 straight weeks and it helped, but I don't want to keep taking medicine for so long, you know what I'm saying? So I decided to drink more liquids, get better rest, get better sleep. That's going to be very important tonight because tomorrow's game I have to get up about 4 o'clock, I think. But roustabout, I'll take a look at your channel and stuff later on, but thanks for mentioning it. My channel is not big enough yet to really attract the attention of the larger channels. They've been largely ignoring me, even when I ask for help or ask for collaboration. Guess who's at the bat? The Batman, Victor Caratini. He takes the first pitch for strike one, then he calls for timeout. For those of you who are members, you can use the Batman emoji. The Batman is at the plate. Actually, it's in the background right now. You see? The Batman. Heck yes. Here comes a pitch to Caratini. Runners on the corners. Man, he rips that down the third baseline, but that's an 0-2 count. Caratini has been bonkers for the Astros recently. He and Altuve are tied with RBIs, 17 this month. Crazy. Actually, in the AL, they're tied. He's hit by the pitch on the foot. It's going to load up the bases. Wow, Caratini comes in as a pinch hitter, gets hit on the foot, and is immediately pulled for a pinch runner. But he has a hitting streak, they said, and because of this at bat, he gets hit and pulled out. His hitting streak is not in danger. How about that? Shea Whitcomb is going to be in for Caratini. And guess who's at the plate? Bryce Matthews. Bryce Matthews. Can you smell a grand slam? Swing for the fences, baby. I want to see it. I really want to see it. Here comes the pitch. Low and in the dirt, ball one. Kyle Backus is the pitcher. I forgot to change that on the screen. Kyle Backus. That's a strange name. But then again, many of these names are strange. 1-0 is the count. Here comes the pitch. Oh, that got away. It's a wild pitch. Altuve's coming home. He's going to score. They call him safe at the plate. Altuve with a diving slide. Man, Altuve working it. The head first slide, man. He's shaking his hand a little bit. It looks like he got stung a little bit on the hand when he came in. Safe, baby. Call on the field stands. Altuve keeps his awesome effort. Yeah, big smiles all around. Heck yes. That's my man right there. Woo. Man, what a play. Yeah, and he's so excited. He came out of the dugout celebrating about that as soon as they announced it. Bryce Matthews at the plate. Fouls it off. One strike. 2-1 is the count now. Runners on second and third. Everybody advanced on that play, so we still have 2 runners in scoring position. 10 hits for the Astros now. 3-1 is the lead. Matthews could blow it up right here. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Fouls it off again. He's swinging. 90-mile-per-hour stinker. Johnny, you called it wrong. Why would you say out on that? There was nothing about that replay that suggested that he would be out. It's got to be overturnable, and it was not. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Low. Full count. Bryce Matthews here. 2 home runs yesterday. A home run today. Full count here. 2 runners on in scoring position. Let's do it. Here's the pitch. Strikeout. Swing and a miss. That could have been ball 4 below the zone there. But Altuve steals the show in this inning. Altuve got this inning going, and he ended it. Gives the Astros the insurance run. Heck yes. 3-1 Astros going into the bottom of the 9th. We have a 2-run lead. Are we going to see Magnum P.I. on the mound in the 9th inning? According to what I saw in the bullpen, the answer is yes. Pretty interesting choice. I'll go ahead and change the picture now, and if that's who we've got, that's who we've got. 140 people following along and 107 likes. Thank you guys so much. Today is a record number of likes. 100 was the new record. It's the new record for today. We're just a few away from 110. 110 would break. I mean, actually, every like that I get creates a new record. Every single new like. Thank you so much for all the support today. I really appreciate it. If you have not subscribed to the channel, I know that I've got a picture on the screen, but for those of you who are listening and not really paying attention to the screen, if you're just listening in, I could very much use the extra subscription, the extra subscribers. There are going to be some changes in the next coming months. My plan is to continue to do the Astros live play-by-play for every single game all the way through the playoffs. I would like to continue doing this channel permanently. However, because of my situation, I am currently on partial disability because of my, I don't want to really call it a battle with cancer, because I think that it doesn't have to be a battle at all. Brian King is on the mound for the Astros. First pitch is outside for ball 1 to Josh Naylor. But anyway, just because of health and other things, it's a challenge to do the live stream, but I'm going to do my best. Outside again, ball 2. Check swing, he does not go. But my plan is to be here and continue to say Geaux Stros and let's win. Let's go. Naylor grounds it up the middle, right through the hole for a hit. The tying run comes to the plate. Alek Thomas is on deck. Looks like they have a pinch hitter for Grichuk. So Naylor gets a hit and is on first base. Whitcomb is out in the field on defense. Looks like he's at third base. Alek Thomas was just taking a warm-up swing, and his helmet came off while he was taking the warm-up swing. That was funny. Leadoff runner on first base. Thank you, Daryl. I appreciate that. Here's a pitch. Ground ball, right side, diving stop by Bryce Matthews, but he can't make a play anywhere, so runners are going to be first and second. Infield hit by McCann. James McCann. I thought Thomas was at the plate, but actually McCann pinch hitted for Thomas, who was pinch hitting for Grichuk. So there was a second change. That ball just barely got through. So 2 ground balls for Brian King, but both of them just barely able to get through. They were just hitting in the right spot. D-backs got lucky. 2 runners on with no outs. Here's the pitch to Perdomo. High, ball 1. This would be a nice time for that triple play that I've been waiting for. Never seen the Astros do a triple play live. Right here would be nice. Here comes headed to third. That almost caused a big problem. Some bad base running on behalf of the D-backs there. I'm not sure exactly what was happening. They stopped him at third. Larkin looked like he was saying hold up and not exactly sure what was happening there. But some mixed messages by the pitching coach at third base. And the runner didn't know what to do, so he stopped. The runner at second base was going to try to go for third, but he had to stop and go back to second. So no runners score. We got lucky about that. No outs, bases loaded with Blaze Alexander at the plate. That was nuts. I didn't quite understand that third base coach either. Here's the pitch. Fouled off of Diaz for strike one. Fastball getting the strike. 0-1 is the count. What a strange series of events. Come on, Brian King. You can do it. I believe in you. Channel your inner Magnum PI. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Fouled off again. 0-2. Bases loaded, no outs here in the bottom of the ninth with 0-2 count against Blaze Alexander. Here comes the pitch. Strike three, 95 up and in. Brian King gets the strikeout. That's right. Pulls out the Magnum and fires it in there. Up and in, 95. That's kind of on the upper end for Brian King. He doesn't normally go much faster than that. Jose Herrera at the plate with one out. Here's the pitch. Fouled back. Another strike. That's 4 straight strikes now from Brian King now that the bases are loaded. Double play ball. The first couple of grounders did not go the Astros' way, but if we had one in the right spot, we could get that double play. Here's the pitch. Ground ball to Bryce Matthews. He's going to second, going to first. Double play. They did it. Brian King gets the double play. Bryce Matthews to second base, over to Walker at first. Brian King gets the double play, wins the game. Astros 3-1. Holy cow. The bases get loaded with no outs. Brian King picks up the out and then the double play. Holy freaking cow. Magnum PI all day long, baby. Bryce Matthews with a big hit today. Altuve with the awesome plays today. Short to Walker. Absolutely. How about that? Franchise record, 13 starts, 13 wins for Framber Valdez. That's an Astros franchise record. 7 of 8 Astros RBIs in this series have come from, guess who? Bryce Matthews. Without Bryce Matthews contributing in this series, the Astros would be destroyed. Our young players are really, really getting it done. The power of friendship. This truly is like an anime team. It really is. If you guys know anything about Japanese anime, that's kind of the joke. It's like the power of friendship. We believe so we can do anything. That's freaking awesome. Astros win the series already with the first 2. 3-1 in this game. They'll play again tomorrow, but we've got the series already. Woohoo! Let's go back and take a look at the scoring summary. It's not a big scoring summary because it was such a low-scoring game, but let's take a quick look. I think I can share this with you on the screen. Take a look at it here. In the bottom of the 5th, Alexander grounded out to second, scoring Grichuk. Diamondbacks took the lead 1-0, and that's the only run they would score. Bryce Matthews homer to left field, scoring Trammell. 2-1 Astros. After that, Altuve scored on a wild pitch on a hustle play to home, giving the Astros an insurance run in the 9th inning. 3-1, and that's where the score would wind up. As far as pitching, check this out. Framber is now 11-4. 7 innings pitched, 7 hits, 1 earned run, 4 strikeouts, 1 walk. He earned this win today. He got the win. The Astros got it for him. The loss goes to Woodford. He's 0-1. Brian King gets the save. 1 inning pitched, gave up 3 hits. Gave up 3 hits, got 1 strikeout and a double play. He just, there's an expression in Japanese. It's giri giri. Giri giri. It's like just barely. You just barely accomplished something. I mean, just by the skin of your teeth is what it is. But just barely. Giri giri. And that's what that was. So Brian King with a giri giri save. Just the skin of the teeth save. How about that? That's awesome. Quick preview. Oh, by the way, if you guys don't know that, you see that McCullers on the IL injured list with a finger blister. But tomorrow's game, let's take a quick preview of tomorrow's game. Game 3, Brandon Walter, who's been pitching really well recently, he's going to be on the mound to face Brandon Pfaadt. It's the Brandon battle tomorrow. Battle Brandon. Walter pitching at a 3.66 ERA. He had a really good game the other day. 6 innings, gave up 1 run, and the Astros lost because the relievers blew the game open, gave up like 5 runs. Pfaadt is 10-6 with a 4.82 ERA. Once again, another hittable pitcher, but if the Astros bats don't wake up, it won't matter, right? They need to really wake up. But this pitcher, once again, gives up more hits than innings. And strikeouts are moderate. His walks are high. And he's given up quite a few home runs. So the Astros can hit this guy. Maybe Bryce Matthews will have another home run tomorrow. It's very possible. He's going bonkers right now in Arizona. They're predicting Arizona to win 54.4%. But whatever. We know that doesn't matter. The Astros will win tomorrow. All right. Before we get out of here, we got 2 more things to do, right? We got to check out what's going on around the league, any scores of importance. And then after that, I'll check with the live chat, see what's going on. Yeah, Daryl, I'm going to pull out my broom and hang it up on the wall. We'll see if I can use it. Put it back there next to my Craig Biggio jersey. Let's see here. Man, the Twins are beating the Dodgers 9-5. How about that? Let's see. The Tigers lost again to the Pirates. Man, the Pirates are owning the Tigers. They've lost 2 to the Pirates in Pittsburgh. How about that? 8-5. The Tigers are now 60-42. Man, that's nice. I like that. I really like that. What else is going on here? The Stankies beat the Blue Jays, which is fine because the Blue Jays have a much better record right now than the Stankies. So that's okay. I'm okay with that. Even though I don't like the Stanks, it's okay. The Angels lost. That's good too. The Curbs, who cares about the Curbs? The A's lost. Everything going the Astros' way today, except for this one game. Look at that. The Brewers managed to lose against the Mariners 1-0. Can you believe that? They couldn't get just 2 runs. Are you serious? You couldn't manage 2 runs? You couldn't help us out just a little bit? They had 2 hits. They had 2 hits the whole game. Man, if there's one thing the Mariners have, it's some good pitchers. But they only managed 4 hits and 1 run. Poor Brewers. They should have been able to get 2 runs off of them. But whatever. Whatever. Currently the Astros record. Let's go to their page here. 59-42. 59-42. They are right on the heels of the Blue Jays. First in the AL West, of course, but getting close to being first in the AL. That's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking for. I want to take a look at the overall standings. There we go. Let's go down here. If we take a look at the Astros division right here, right? 59-42. And the Blue Jays 59-42. So we're essentially, But I think the Blue Jays are 60 wins now, 60-42. Didn't they win against the Yankees and move up to 60-42? But regardless, we need them to lose. If they play tomorrow, if they lose and we win, I believe that we will take the AL, right? If the Tigers lose, the Blue Jays lose, and the Astros win, we can take the lead in the AL. Is that right? But sometimes these standings don't get updated correctly, so I might be wrong. But it just looks like that. If we see the Blue Jays lose, the Tigers lose, and the Astros win tomorrow, maybe we'll at the very least we'll be tied for number one in the AL, if not in the lead. How nice would that be? But currently the Astros are still 5 games over the Mariners, so it's all good. 18 ahead of the A's, 10 ahead of the Angels, 7.5 against the Rangers. It's all good. It's all good. Let's take a look at the live chat before I head out. I want to say a special thanks to everybody, my members, those who've sent donations to me. Thank you very much. There are a lot of things changing for me over the next few weeks and over the next couple of months, and I don't know which doors will open. I don't know exactly what opportunities are going to show up for me in several different areas of my life, but my plan is to continue doing all of the Astros live play-by-play wherever I am, whether I'm here at my house in the countryside or whether I'm somewhere else in Japan or whether I have to leave Japan. I really don't know. I seriously don't know right now, and I'm not trying to figure it out, because the truth of the matter is I don't have a spouse right now. I don't have a girlfriend. I don't have family. There's no one in my family I can just call up and say, hey, can I come stay with you for a while? That's not possible. It's possible for some people, but not for me. It's just not possible. I don't have any job options. I don't have any offers. I don't have any clear opportunities for anything. I'm on a path right now. It's kind of like you're out in the middle of nowhere and you're traveling along, but things aren't going badly. You're able to get just enough, right? Maybe you find some berries and some food along the way. You're able to get just enough to sustain yourself, and there's water sometimes, and you're able, or maybe you have plenty of water, right? And you're able to continue to sustain yourself, and the path just keeps going the same direction, but there's literally no other option, right? There's no other path. So, and you can't go back the way you came because you know that that's not going to work. And that's kind of where I'm at. So, I have another YouTube channel, and my other YouTube channel is all about this house and what I'm doing here to renovate this house. And there's always the armchair quarterback that tells me how I should be living my life. Some people tell me I should abandon this house. It's too broken. Well, what about me? Am I too broken? Because I've been abandoned by friends and girlfriends because of my health and my situation. So I look at my house and I think it's like me. It's like a physical manifestation of me. And if I just walk away, am I any different than my girlfriends, my family, my friends, the ones that have abandoned me? Am I any different from them? I don't think so. I believe, and I know I am different. So I'm going to stay here and keep doing what I'm doing. And you know, I have my internet right now, and I have the ability to do the games, so I do that. After that, I'm cleaning and rearranging my house and trying to prepare it to do some foundation work. Can't pay anybody to do it right now, because if you look at my bank account, you'll understand why. So in order to save my house and keep it from further erosion and a catastrophic failure, I have to do something. I can't just let it be. So I'm trying to get that foundation fixed. So first I have to clean the rooms out, remove the floorboards, and then pack down the eroded areas, fill them in, and redo some of the support systems. And I'm trying to do that while recovering from cancer. So my energy level is not very high. And the medicines that I'm taking right now, although they're not very expensive, I believe that I will have to stop taking those unless something changes. I'm not asking you guys, oh, feel sorry for me, send me some money, because that's really it's very helpful for me, and it is supplemental, and I thank you for that. But it is not a primary source of income right now. It can pay for some food, and it can pay for a little bit of fuel, but trust me, it doesn't come anywhere near the debts that I have for medicines, and mostly medicines and medical treatments that I'm still paying off. I still have taxes that I owe, and big hospital bills and medicines and things like that, and I'm just not making enough money to cover those things. So this is the path that I'm on, and no other door or path has transpired. So I just want to share with you guys. I'm positive about it because I believe that when the time is right, the door appears. I'm able to see it, and then when I recognize it, I can say, oh, okay, there it is. Now it's time for me to leave this path and go to a different path. And that's what I'm waiting for. So anyway, let's see here. In the live stream, we have a few comments here. Yes, Casey, you're right. Fromber absolutely deserved this game, and it was a great game. It was a difficult game. I enjoyed yesterday's game much more. Of course, this game ended well for us, being Astros fans, but it was such a difficult game to watch all the way until the end, but it was worth sticking through. Crispy says, we won through the power of believing in teamwork. Yes, and friendship. Way to end the game. Bryce Matthews has won both of our last 2 games. Yes, he has. And yes, Chris, it was a good game. Good game. And what a team. Absolutely. The snake stays sad. Vamos, Astros. That's right. Let's go. And thank you, Roustabout, for the comments. Afternoon game tomorrow for me will be at about 4 or 5 a.m., somewhere in there. So I'll be up really early for the game tomorrow. The Astros are my favorite anime. Yes, me too. Let's all believe that and focus. The Astros win this game. They win the 2025 World Series. Could be. Every game is important. Some more than others, but every game matters. Let's do our best. Yeah, Jay, it was a difficult game, but in the end, it turned out to be a great game for the Astros and the Astros fans. Let's see here. Just pray. Yeah, just, to me, believing. I don't identify with being poor or sick. I don't identify with those things. It may appear, that's my appearance of my situation. The appearance of my situation is to be alone and sick and broke. That's the appearance. But I can reject that, and it'll change. The appearance will change. Change the inside first, and then the outside changes. That's my belief. So I'm not worried about it. I just keep walking this path until that new path appears, and then it'll all be good for me. Yes, the Astros are inevitable, Mr. Page. I agree. Good show. You're welcome. Thank you. All we have to do to win is have Bryce Matthews hit homers. Hey, maybe he goes crazy and he hits 35 homers in the second half of the season. Who knows? Who knows? Thank you, Daryl, for enjoying it. One day at a time, you'll make it. Got to do what's best for you. I agree. And I'm not afraid to walk that path. So I can make the right decisions. Yeah, bless you too, Roustabout. Thank you. Just like Altuve, never give up. Crispy, that's right. Prove everyone wrong. Databayo. Believe it. Yep, thank you very much. Mr. Page says Altuve leads the way. Heart of a champion. Absolutely. He didn't have the big home run today, but man, he played his heart out. He absolutely always does. Yeah, he did seem to injure his hand, but, Altuve, if he did get injured and he needs some time off, he did it sacrificing himself for the team. I mean, he's just freaking awesome. Roustabout, if you don't, you're welcome to share my stream or my channel with anybody you want. I don't care about that. You can feel free to do whatever you want in that area. But Yeah. I only call Astros games. Just keep that in mind. I only call Astros games. So if they're not interested in the Astros, it may not be the right fit. So obviously, if they don't like baseball, or maybe if they don't like, or if they like a particular team, like for example, Rangers fans, Mariners fans probably won't like the Astros. Dodgers fans will definitely hate the Astros. So there'll be a lot of people that aren't interested in following and subscribing to my channel. If they have a decent feeling towards the Astros, or if they're fans of the Astros, then yes, they would be happy to join and support. But otherwise, it's a very niche channel, right? The focus is just the Astros, always the Astros. But anyway, that's all for now. Crispy says the Astros will go for the sweep tomorrow. Absolutely. Believe it. Databayo. Only thing left to say now, as usual, is Geaux Stros. And I will see you guys for the afternoon game 3 tomorrow when the Astros go for the sweep. Thank you, Roustabout. I appreciate it. And I will check out your channel that you mentioned. But for now, I'm going to go eat something. It's time to eat and get some work done around the house. Love you guys and gals. See you tomorrow. Go Stros!